Hey there you are, welcome back, episode 31. Today I've got Jeremy the Guitar Hunter. Jeremy is a true guitar aficionado. He has over 55,000 subscribers on YouTube. And what I find interesting about Jeremy is he's not totally into guitars and very knowledgeable, but he's also very interested in the stories that guitars tell. And as we get on with some guitars being 100 years old and then passing through generations and generations, I just find that very interesting, and I'm sure there's a million interesting stories out there. Please like, please subscribe. Catch you on the other side. Hey, what is up, Jeremy? Thank you for joining the club. How are you?
Hey, Brian, man, I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I'm so excited to talk to you. I just found you, it's been recent, I found you on YouTube and started watching your stuff. And, back when I was learning what I wanted to do when I grew up, I didn't quite know that what you do was possible. Do you have the friggin' coolest job in the world or what?
Dude, I didn't know that this was a thing. I really wanted to know how to buy vintage guitars. I knew some, and my first video was like, how do you buy a vintage guitar? And it was just me buying a 60s Martin, and it was bad and long and edited on iMovie, and then I forgot about it, and then like 3 or 4 months later it had 20,000, maybe 14,000 views, and I was like, holy moly, there's something to this. Yeah, so I didn't know, but it's been amazing. It's been so fun, and the coolest thing, and I think you and I are similar to this, and I know we'll talk about this, I just want to hear about what guitars have done to people that have owned them. Like, I love the stories of people owning guitars, the stories of people building guitars. So that's the stuff that's just been like, that's what I'm chasing. And it's so fun.
That's really cool. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you and what is it exactly that you do?
Yeah, man. Okay, so I'm Jeremy Sheppard. I go by Jeremy the Guitar Hunter. And I grew up in the Shenandoah Valley. I grew up playing in punk rock bands and metal bands. And then right out of high school, I got a job working at a vintage guitar store that specialized in old Martins. And I worked for a guy who was amazing. And he just said, he's like, hey, I need you to know everything I know. And so that was incredibly daunting. He was like third generation in the music business. And so he just took me all over the place, gave me a bunch of books to read, and he made me drill holes in very old Martins and Gibsons. And it fostered this love. Like, I already loved guitars, but I found a really special love for acoustic guitars during that time. And then over the years, just buying and selling guitars, and then YouTube showed up. So I started making videos about buying guitars. And it has culminated in like 900 videos about guitars, what they do, and how you get the guitars that matter and get rid of the guitars that don't matter.
Now, do you work with individual people on actually hunting down guitars? Like, do people contact you and say, hey, I need a 50s Telecaster?
Yes.
Or,
yes, I've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that, and it's harder. It's way harder to find, because if somebody is picky enough to want a certain era, they're probably going to be picky on whatever I find. And
Yeah.
so it sets me. Yeah. If you want to find specific models like that, you're better to like reach out to Groon or Carter or Norms, and you're going to pay the do it for me tax, the find it for me tax.
Yeah.
So I've done it over the years, but I'm kind of at the mercy, like, I'm still like just a guy who loves guitars. And so, yes, I do have a list of people, a couple thousand people that know where all these like ridiculous guitars are. But it's hard to get really specific. So what I've tried to do over the years is to make tools like buyer's guides, to make courses about buying guitars or negotiating. I tried to just help people, and I mean that's my core instinct, is to be helpful.
Yeah. So when people are searching for their old guitars, you do have a wealth of knowledge, and like you said, over 900 videos. Your channel is very in depth about finding the little things that you want to be looking for that you might not be thinking of when you're looking for a older guitar, whether it be a Martin or a Gibson or anything. This funny thing, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I had a chance to buy a Gibson. I don't even remember what model it was, but it had Elvis Presley's signature on it. So I grabbed it. And I ended up getting rid of it really quick because I wanted something to play, and I wasn't going to like play something with Elvis's signature on it. So
It
I
was
got
like
rid of it.
actually Elvis's signature.
Yeah, and I couldn't really authenticate that without paying more
Right.
than what I actually even picked up the guitar for.
Yeah.
So I turned it around. But if I knew about your channel, I would have looked into that a little bit more and see if there's anything I could have told about the guitar. Was it a legit Gibson, and was it worth like repairing and getting it ready? So
Yeah.
I wish I knew that then.
But yeah, but you're totally on to. I mean, because at some point, like a signature on a guitar moves it out of just being a guitar to all of a sudden it's guitar plus memorabilia. So you're
Yeah,
like, well, a whole bunch of people would want to buy this because it's signed by Elvis, but I can't prove that it's signed by Elvis. And then it's
yeah,
just a guitar on the other side. I had a BB King that I had to like go through so many hurdles to prove that the signature was true and the signature on the certificate of authenticity was also true. And that's a lot.
yeah. So it's amazing. You grew up in the Shenandoah Valley, which I kind of think of as like where the most of the Martins are. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like they're all over the place, of course, but I feel like there's a ton of them down in that Mid-Atlantic Appalachian area. And what a cool thing to have that experience you just described, growing up around all those guitars. What is your favorite Martin to find and talk about?
Oh man, that's a fun question. I have a particular love for student level guitars. So I love if I can find an old Martin 0017. Those are so fun because you can, and that's the oldest Martin that most people could still afford, and they're getting expensive. But I love finding like old mahogany top Martins.
Yeah,
From you could find them from the 30s and 40s under $2,000 until 5 years ago.
right,
Yeah.
right. And how was that COVID experience for you? Because guitars kind of went crazy there in
Yeah.
2020, right? How was that from your perspective?
Right. So I started my channel in 2017, and I
Yeah.
never thought that it would get to be a job. Like, I didn't think, I really wanted it, and I worked really, really hard to make it happen. But I was a marketing director from 2018 into 2020. And so right at the beginning of COVID, I ended up finding myself unemployed or like leaving a W-2 job. Anyway,
Yeah.
jumping into where it's like, okay, I have had a couple videos that are successful on guitar. If I go to every guitar shop, if I do every guitar show, I could make this thing work. And then COVID happened. So by April of 2020, it was pretty clear like, okay, we've got to figure out. So by that time, my YouTube channel was monetized. So I ended up jumping in, and it was just, I mean, it's just serendipitous or divine timing that I was scaled up. I'd learned how to run a camera and to make videos around the time that I was building an audience. And then the first brand that reached out to me was Fender. And Fender said, hey, we're going to launch the American Professional 2 Strat. Would you want to be in on this? Well, and I think they offered to pay me $400 and I could borrow the guitar. And I was like, that's amazing. Yes, I'll do that. And they sent me the guitar, and I was just over the moon. I loved it. It was so cool. And at the end, I sent them a message saying, hey, I'm sad to send this back, but I'm ready to send the guitar back. The video's doing well. I think I made like 4 or 5 videos on that guitar right away. And then they just said, hey, we watched your video. We're so excited for you and your channel. Why don't you just keep the guitar? And that just like, that set it up to where it was like a category in my brain that I could do guitar reviews. Because I'm a used guitar guy, like, or in my mind, I still am. But since then, I've helped lots of brands. I've reviewed lots of guitars. I've helped behind the scenes to do some, just brainstorming on what people would want or what would work or what wouldn't work. And, but yeah, I mean, guitar really exploded in 2020 for a lot of people. But I think a lot of people have gone, I mean, life is pretty normal now. Like, you're back to where I think they're back to being as busy as they were before. And so there's a big chunk of people that stuck with guitar. But what's your take? Do you think what chunk of people stuck with it?
Well, it's a good question. I haven't really thought about that. It has a lot of people stuck with it. I got a Stratocaster for a steal a couple of years ago from a guy who bought it during COVID and played as a kid, wanted to play again, bought it, realized he wasn't going to play again, and I got a great deal on it. So I
When you
don't
say
think
great
people
deal,
really stick with it. What's that?
when you say a great deal, what'd you get? Or what'd you get? What'd you
It
pay?
was a 2020. It was a 75th anniversary white Mexican made for 325.
That's a good deal. That's great,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. But I think to answer your question, I don't think people stick with it. I don't think that they do. Although I do think a lot of people started playing, and even though most people don't stick with it, the end result is there are more players than there was in 2019.
Right.
I think there has been a big boon of younger
Hmm.
people playing guitar and older people too, and hopefully some of them stick with it. What I also think happened is just like everything else, the prices are way up. Like I think the prices went up by like a third on everything,
Right.
and that's here to stay.
Isn't it crazy? Because it's also, I mean, like I have this whole encyclopedia Rolodex of numbers in my brain for what used guitar should be, and all of those numbers are wrong now. Like they're
Yeah,
all too low. You
yeah,
know, when I think like, okay, an American Strat from 5 years ago, that's probably 600-700 bucks. No, that's probably 800 to $1,000.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I I look at the Squire Classic Vibes a lot because I'm looking
Hmm.
for a jazz master, and I don't play a lot of electric, but I would just love to have one of those. And I feel like I used to be able to get those for like 300, and now they're like 450. you know,
Yeah.
you
Which
know,
at that point, I mean, I think the best guitars out there under $1,000 are the PRS SEs. And if you can find them used, like a used Silver Sky,
yeah,
like they're all over. I mean, I'm just outside New Orleans, and they're all like $400, $350. Like if
yeah.
it's an unusual color, it might be 450. But
So
yeah, those are crazy.
you obviously have been playing a long time too because you play on your channel, and I think you're a good player. You've been playing since you were a kid.
Yeah, I started playing when I was 14. I was really into sports. I was into wrestling, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden, my doctors found I had a heart condition, and I went from being active in sports to I can't be in gym class, can't do any cardio, and so I was pretty aimless, and I didn't know what to do. My oldest brother had gotten a guitar, and I picked it up, and this was like probably 2000 or 2001, and I just picked through. I figured out how to play Scar Tissue by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I was hooked. And after that, it was like I remember all of my friends were like, "We got to pick a band. We got to be like, we'll get T-shirts and we'll like dress like the guys in a band." And so all my friends picked Blink 182, and I picked Creed. And it's cooler now. It was not cool in 2001 to like love Creed. But yeah, so
It's
yeah, I started playing when I was 14. I played like
real
punk and
cooler.
metal and rock and roll, and then had a
Yep.
hardcore, like all of a sudden stopped playing all electric guitar and playing only acoustic guitars, not using a pick, growing my fingernails out, and just learning to play acoustic guitar. And that's pretty much where I am now. Like I like electric guitars, and I will lose sleep over acoustic guitars.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's pretty much where I am too. Um, Now, are you like me where you kind of go back and forth where you think you have your favorite guitar forever, and then you're like maybe that lasts for a year or two, then you're like, you know what, I kind of it's not it. I need something else. Or have you found your guitar that you're like, this is it. This is the one I love forever.
Right, man. Yeah, I have a couple. Like I spend every day wishing I had less guitars, which sounds, I mean, if the 5 year younger version of me would be so surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
But I keep trying to get fewer and fewer guitars to get down to like, all right, my two or three that are just killers. And then it just, I think just the way life is going, just guitar brands. Like today, two guitars showed up and I sold one guitar, but that math still adds to like, well, there's one more than there was this morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I've spent the last couple of years trying to figure out, so teaching people how to buy guitars, teaching them how to sell guitars, and then the real thing I've been hooked on is, all right, how do you build a meaningful guitar collection?
Yeah, exactly. That's
Because what I found was like it's not hard. It's not hard to have a wall full of guitars, but they're all like Epiphone Dots and like your cousin's old PV Raptor, and like none of them matter that much. None of them are that special or that cool. But
that's a great point.
Getting to where there are a couple guitars you're like, hey, I need to put something on paper in my will. That these can't just get given away. And that, so I've thought a lot about what it means to have a meaningful guitar collection.
I think a meaningful collection is a very interesting point because just, having guitars for the sake of having guitars does just become, taking up space,
Right.
if they don't have a meaning. And you're like, what are we doing here? So that's cool. That's really interesting. What's a guitar that has surprised you that you didn't give a whole lot of consideration to, that is really, your opinion has been changed on it? Now, I watched your Taylor video that you just put out yesterday, and I'm on the same page with you on Taylors. Like, I never gave them a whole lot of credit, but recently I have been looking at Taylors closer and closer and appreciating them more for what they are. But they're obviously one of the big ones. Have there been any other guitars that have really surprised you?
Yes, I never cared about blues or jazz, and so there's this whole category of guitars I just never cared about, like ladder braced blues guitars. Never did a thing for me. And then in 2019, 2020, somewhere in there, I bought a Waterloo WLS. And at this point, this was before COVID. It's before anyone was really paying attention to them. And so I bought it in a Home Depot parking lot for $1,600. At that point, they had sold new for $2,500. They were selling used for $18 to $2. And I was like, well, this will be fun. I'll make a YouTube video about it and I'll sell it. And it changed my life. Changed how I play guitar. I got it, and it had this like rich, thick, thumpy low end. And it changed the way I play. And I wrote things that I still play on pretty much every demo I wrote on that guitar. I rewrote, or I like reworked old versions of songs that I'd written in college and in my 20s. And so for me, like, that's a kind of guitar now that I just, all of a sudden I'm now like, whoa, ladder brace guitars can sound good. They don't all sound boxy.
That's interesting. And you never like gave it a whole lot of thought before.
Right.
Yeah.
And now I own like 3 or 4 slot headstock 12 fret 00 size guitars.
Yeah. So I'm curious, how many guitars do you have?
Oh boy. Okay, so a year ago so when I moved, right before I moved, I had 55. I was like, that's insane. And so I was like selling them and giving them away and finding like friends' kids who were in high school learning how to play. And then I got down to about 20. And then now I bet I'm back up to 30 or 35.
Okay. You still have a significant problem on your hands.
Yes. And figuring out, the insurance side of it too. Because when we went to move, I called my insurance guy and he was like, nope, no way. We do not cover them in a car. We do not cover them in a van, in a moving truck. You have to ship each one individually.
Oh, that's funny. I never even really thought about that much.
Well, especially moving like across the country in summertime.
Yeah. No, that's a nightmare. How much? You're down in Louisiana, so it's very humid down there. How much do you have to consider care and humidity control for that? Or you're dehumidifying, I would imagine, most of the time, right?
Yeah, dehumidifying. And so thankfully, because it's so hot, our AC is running most of the year.
So you can keep it pretty...
like I'm looking at, I'm at 52% humidity in here right now.
Yeah.
But it's still, it's the end of November, and it's still like, I think it'll be 82 degrees here today. So it's still hot and muggy. The big thing is winters, especially because it still gets chilly here, and we have a fireplace in the house, and my family loves having fires. But if we light one fire, it will drop to 35% humidity in this room, within a couple hours.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. I live up in New England, and we have humid summers and then super dry winters, get the fires going. We get down into the 20s sometimes when it's super cold and we're heating up. So it's just the guitars are on this constant
You
up and
mean
down
20 is
cycle.
humidity?
What's that?
You mean 20% humidity?
20% humidity, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's where you can
Super,
just see
super
the
dry.
guitar shrink.
Yeah, you can there's, you get spark in the air,
Man,
Yeah,
yeah,
super dry. And we'll
yeah.
obviously
So
use humidifiers, but that's like up in the mountains, where we're a little cabin and it gets super dry.
right.
We get a fire going all the time, and it's like, oh my god, things are just like crumbling here. So it's a
Right.
nightmare,
So
hot and cold.
it took a long time for me to figure out. So evaporative humidifiers are amazing.
Yeah,
Because some of like ultrasonic humidifiers just can't put enough moisture into the air fast enough, and then they're also ionizing the minerals in the water. So if you're running those all the time, you'll get like chalky dust on your guitars.
yeah,
But with
yeah,
evaporative, where it's just like a tank of water and it's just a fan. That
yeah,
one, I've got that now. Where it's like I can put up a gallon or two a day, but it keeps it at 45 to 50% humidity.
yeah, yeah. So, what are your favorite guitars in your collection? What are your couple of go-tos?
My favorite guitar. So I have a custom guitar right here. You can see it back behind me. This is
Okay,
a
yeah.
Wright Lutherie. So it's it's N.E. Wright, made by Nathaniel Wright. So it's basically like a J35. So it's a
Yeah.
Martin scale length, Adirondack spruce top, curly maple back and sides.
He's
And then
kind
we
of
did some
blown
really
up
fun
recently,
stuff.
right?
Sorry.
He's blown up recently, right?
He's become one of my dearest friends, and I love that he's like, lots of people are catching on to his guitars. They're incredible.
Yeah, they do seem
yeah.
incredible. Yeah.
So yeah,
That's-
so I stretched him to do something. So through a weird series of events a couple of years ago, I got one of his guitars like from a while ago, and it was this like Gibson slope shoulder maple back and sides guitar, and it was incredible. And it just, over the next couple of years, he and I became friends. And then he asked me, hey, if you did a custom guitar for yourself, what would you do? And I started explaining, like, well, I want kind of a Gibson small burst. I'll grab it and I'll.
Yeah, love to see it. Oh man. Yeah, that's beautiful. Love that.
Yeah, so small burst. So it's a Martin scale length, small burst, and then we did natural back and sides. So super
So-
curly maple.
Yeah, so nice.
Mahogany neck, big V neck on this guitar.
Yeah.
So the crazy stuff we did, and Nathan pitched this to me. He was like, "Hey, if we can do an X brace that's similar, it splits the difference between Gibson and Martin. But here's what we can do: I can brace and I can taper the bass side of the guitar like a Martin, and then I can taper the bracing on the other side to be more like a Gibson. So you get this
wow.
like spunky bluegrassy bass on the low end, and then on the high strings you get this really thick, like Gibson-y, jangly tone.
Oh, that's very interesting that he kind of split the difference like that.
It's crazy. He told me, and I was like, okay, I trust you. I've never played anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And then I sent him like probably 30 or 40 pictures of the small bursts I wanted, because I wanted it to just be tiny. And
I like
he said
that.
he said it was so stressful, because he's like, if you miss one spray, it's just a black top.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really attractive. Can I hear it? You mind playing?
Yeah.
Is it in tune?
Let's see. Came in standard.
Nice. Yeah, it's beautiful. What do you have with
man.
the inlays there?
So it's a dogwood, which is the state flower of Virginia.
Oh,
So we
cool.
finished designing this guitar right after I moved to. So this guitar it's never been in Virginia, because it came to me after we'd moved here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the dogwood, and we had it where it's kind of, they're blowing away up the fingerboard.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Lovely guitar.
So yeah, man, yeah, this one, this is my like the house is on fire. It's there's 3 guitars that are on that
Yep.
list of like, this one, and I'll show you another one here in a second. But it's just so good. So this, I have
Yeah.
another guitar. It's in the back room. It's my Zon Fleet. It's there's a great article in the Fretboard Journal about this guitar. So it was
Nice.
made by my friend Rasmus. He was 16 when he made it. Yeah, it's
Wow.
incredible. He's now 19 and lives in Antwerp. He's making fiddles and guitars, and he's just
So
incredible.
cool. Wow, that's awesome.
And then I have like probably 8 guitars that are like my like essential, my favorites, and they're all like boutique-y, built by friends or built by really great builders. So this is a guitar that I built with
wow.
Steve Showalter. So Steve
Okay.
Showalter is a guy in the Shenandoah Valley, and he builds guitars using all local timbers. So this
Yeah.
is quarter sawn sycamore that grew up in the Shenandoah Valley.
Love the sycamore, the flex on the sycamore.
Isn't it? It's so cool.
So cool.
And then it has an Osage orange bridge. So it started out life kind of like mustard yellow, but this guitar is about 3 years old now, and so
Yeah.
it's starting to really chill out. And
Do
then
you,
the bottom sides are
I
Osage
have a
orange.
soft spot for the OM shape. I play 0018,
Yeah.
and it's just like I just feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I feel like dreadnoughts are just too big. I just play on the couch,
Yeah.
I don't even own a dreadnought right now, but I want to get one. But I don't know. I just like the size of the triple O's better.
Especially, okay, so like a triple O and an OM are the same shape and size box, but the
Yeah.
scale length is different between that and an OM. So
Yeah.
if you get an OM, it's the same scale length as a Dread, and it's about the same volume of air inside. So like, they sound
Yeah.
very, very similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're a lot
No.
more
Right.
comfortable.
Yeah. They are more
This one's
comfortable.
an OM, and my only real cheat is like an OM pick guard it's like more of a teardrop shape compared to just like a regular dreadnought pick guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. I also play in Dadgad a lot.
I was just going to ask you about the DADGAD. You said on the video I just watched earlier that is your true test when testing out a guitar, putting it in DADGAD. You just get, is it just the vibrations sound better to you?
Well, yeah, it's because it's so
You're hitting
open,
it's all
like
ringing, yeah.
Yeah, like every note is showing. You also are dropping tension on 3 strings. So if a guitar is set up, like if the action is as low as it can get, if you go to DADGAD, it'll be really buzzy. And then, so to me, it shows intonation and playability. Like if you can play
Yeah. Yeah.
like something on the 12th fret.
Nice.
It just shows so much of the intonation. Like, is this guitar actually in tune as you play it all over?
Yeah. Is there anything that you look for on a guitar when, like a used guitar, acoustic in particular, besides the normal stuff, besides looking for the bridge lifting, besides looking for binding and the neck needing a reset or what have you? What else are you looking for that, like, the average guy like me might not be thinking of?
Right. Yeah. First thing I look for is saddle height, action at the 12th fret. I then, probably one that most people don't do, I'll tap like on the 3rd fret and with my middle finger, and then my first finger, I'll tap on the 1st fret.
Yeah.
And you'll see, like check, is the nut height correct? Because most guitars, if that's the place, like if a guitar is going to sound wonky in open chords, it will be because of that for the most part. Like if they're too high and you're pulling them down too hard, especially on an E chord, that G will be sharp.
That makes sense. Yeah. I recently had to have a neck reset done on a guitar. I'm so glad I had it done, but it took me forever to do it. But now it's like I have a new guitar.
I know, but man, that's a spicy meatball.
I know. That's why I said I got this. It's actually right here. It's this 0018 that I got on eBay like 12 years ago,
Yeah.
cheap because it needed a neck reset. I got it for under $1,000, but
Wow.
I never played it for over a decade because I just never had the neck reset done on it, and I just said,
Right.
you know what, like screw it, I might as well just get it done and play it. It's better than like not getting it done and never playing it. Like
Right. Yeah. Have it and don't play it. Spend money and love it.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm happy I did
Yeah.
it.
Man, yeah,
So
that's so good. And there's something about a guitar that, just like I think great guitars become invisible. You stop thinking about them. All of a sudden, you're just like playing and singing and writing that thing, and you're living in your not just your imagination, but just this like part of your consciousness that you got to dial into. And
yeah,
I think most people we get stuck on if a guitar doesn't play well, you're never going to get there.
yeah, no, exactly. It's not worth owning a guitar that doesn't play well. Like we were talking about earlier, you gotta
Yeah.
herd those, get those out of the herd, and move on.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
if you
And then there are a lot of people I know that are really resistant to learning the skills of like tweaking guitars. I'm not even saying like repairing guitars, but like I know people that don't want to they don't want to mess with the truss rod because they think they're going to break their guitar, or
yeah,
they won't sand down the saddle because it's bone and something. That's where I keep encouraging people like, hey, you gotta, especially in the acoustic guitar world, like you're gonna have guitars that the action's gonna get high the first summer, it's gonna get low and buzzy the first winter. You've got a couple seasons where they're gonna change a lot.
yeah. And you encourage people to tweak them
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that's what the guy that I used to work for. I mentioned that like he used to make me drill holes. We were working on a 47 ES 175, and it was this beautiful guitar, and it needed to have a hole drilled through the top. And my boss was like, "Come on, do it, just drill it." I'm like, "This is such an expensive guitar." He's like, "It's also just wood, and you can
yeah,
fix pretty much anything that goes wrong with wood." I'm
yeah,
like, okay. But yeah, I think, I mean, don't go crazy. So I naturally have a heavy hand. That's what I learned on the Showalter I showed you. There's a
yeah,
big patch in the side because I sanded through the side while we're making it. And, the guy that was helping me build it was just like, Jerry, you got to slow down, buddy. Like, you just have a
yeah,
heavy hand.
yeah.
But I think little things like learning how to do a setup on a guitar. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, because setups are $75, $100.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you can't do $75 worth of damage to a guitar easily. I don't think. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to like come up with a clip there, but
yeah.
so yeah, I think it's a skill that you need to like restring, setup, and that's all the stuff that you really need to know how to do.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when I was first starting, my guitar shop had these $3 Darko strings, and I would just buy like a bunch of them and just
Yeah.
restring my guitar for fun to like figure out, like just to get really comfortable with it when I was, just beginning. You know.
Right, because I think, yeah, I think I like the incarnational aspect of life. Like, I like doing stuff with your body. Like, you're a soul and a body together. And there's something about the practice of the things you like doing. So, the practice of being a guitar aficionado. So, for me,
Yeah,
I'm like, the luthier's not probably doesn't help strings play in tune better, but there's
yeah,
something about a flourish, like just a little, like you do it because it's beautiful and you do it because it's hard to do.
yeah.
I think that those things are worth it in the experience of being a guitar player.
And as a human, I am totally with you on that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I know we're getting along on time here. I want to respect your time. But what's the craziest guitar that you've come across? The one that you still think back, you're like, I can't believe I found that guitar or I came across that guitar.
Man, there's a story. 2020, I was just cruising Facebook Marketplace, and a friend of mine from Seattle reached out and said, "Hey, I found a guitar in your hometown, and you need to buy it." And it was nothing super crazy. It was a '67 Martin D28, Brazilian rosewood. It's from the original owner. But the weird thing was, I called the number on the listing, and I got this like squeaky voiced 12-year-old kid. and he was like, "Yeah, I gotta sell my grandpa's guitar. He doesn't need it anymore." I'm like, "Hold on. Like, wait, why are you selling it?" He's like, "Well, it's my grandpa's, and he does, you know." And I just assumed, it was like, at this point, it must be the grandpa's died, and there's no way, like, this is just some 12-year-old selling a guitar. So I was like, "Okay, well, can I see it? I'd like to meet you in person." And when I met, I also asked him, I was like, "Hey, I do YouTube videos. Can I film this?" And so I met them in a parking lot. This is like peak summer of 2020 COVID time. But we met in a gas station and we played guitar, and the grandpa was there. And he's just showed up, straight up old Appalachian guy, showed up in his like bib overalls. And he explains, "Yeah, I bought this guitar brand new when it was in 1967, right when I got married. And I bought it. It cost me $325. It took me about 2 years to pay for it. And I bought it from this shop in Harrisonburg, like the next town over." And I was like, "Okay, why are you selling it? Don't sell this guitar."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, I have 4 grandsons. Only 2 of them play, and it's too much guitar for the 2 of them to share.
Yeah.
So they want to be like me." And this is when the grandson, and this is like one of my favorite things I've ever heard someone say. He's like, "Well, my grandpa worked real hard to buy his first Martin, and I want to do the same thing. So if I can sell this, I get some money, and I've been cutting lots of grass, and my pastor has a D35 I want to buy." And so he was like, so to be like him, I gotta sell this one.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the thing. Like, yes, you're selling an amazing bluegrass guitar, but it's about the kind of person you're going to be when you get that guitar in your lap. And he wants to be like his grandpa, who's been this like amazing, winsome patriarch for him. So I made a deal. I bought the guitar from him, and within a couple weeks, my friend Mike Quibble called. He reached out. And so Mike is this guy. He's really active on the unofficial Martin Guitar Forum. And he reached out and he was like, "Hey, I've got an idea. You sell that guitar to me. I'll get it fixed up. We'll give it back to Raymond and Joshua for free." I was like, "That's crazy, man." So I sent it to him. He sent it off. He got a neck reset. He had it kind of upgraded to where it was more pre-war, or more pre-war specs. So long saddle. They replaced the bridge plate. They did a couple things. And then the story all culminated in November of 2020. We all got together at a park, a park in Elkton, Virginia, and we're sitting around playing guitar, singing songs. Joshua is there. He's the grandson. He had a YouTube channel for a while called Joshua Loves Bluegrass, and it was so good. But so we got together and we're playing these songs, and there's many details to this story that I'm glossing over just for the sake of brevity. But Raymond is there, and he's telling us about this guitar, and he's telling us about the songs he's sang and where he's played that guitar. And Mike said, "Well, let me read you a card." And he gets the guitar out, and he lets Raymond play it, and then he reads this card, and he says that there's a lot to it, but he just says, like, "You showed me what it means to love your family and to sacrifice for your grandkids. I'm so thankful. I was moved so much by that, and I want to honor you in that. So I've had the guitar fixed up, and it is yours until you can't play it anymore."
Oh, that is so cool.
It's incredible. It's all of us were like crying at the end of this. Because it was so, and there's this whole other component. There's a video on my channel, and then Mike has put out a bunch of stuff about this along the way. There's other stuff about, anyway, there's a lot more to this story. But the big one was just like, man, I remember thinking that is the best story I will ever be a part of.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about guitars, is not only is it a uniquely American instrument, but it just connects people, and it connects multi-generations from one to another. Mm-hmm. And it's just a beautiful thing. It's really cool. I love it.
Man. Yeah, I love it. That's the stuff. Like, if I could only do that, that's what I would want to do forever. Just chasing down old guitars and finding the stories. Because it's more about like, hey, what has that guitar meant to your family for 50 years?
Yeah.
Like I love
Yeah.
that stuff.
I also drive around and think about like how many are there, like how many martins are under these beds that have been there for 50 years,
Yeah,
and like
they're
how
still
do
in
I
there.
find those?
Yeah, yeah, me too. At this point, it is fun just because of like everyone in my orbit knows that it's Jeremy the guitar guy.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
any guitar they hear about, and it's funny because a lot of times, and for a while I felt kind of jaded because it would be like people would be like, "My grandpa has this old guitar and it's so cool and it's really pretty and you got to see it," and then they bring it out and it's like a Hondo from the '60s or an old Yamaha, and
But
they're
it's the
cool and they're
sentimental thing
special.
that they, yeah.
Every now and then, like it's happened twice to me now. Somebody's like, "I'm gonna bring my grandpa's old guitar. It just sits in the corner," and then he brings it out and it's like a '38 OM 28.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on, don't carry that home in the trash bag you brought it in. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I'll give you a case. You can borrow a case.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy. No, it's a funny thing. Well, Jeremy, it's been fascinating talking to you. I will link your channel below. Encourage everyone to check your stuff out. I'm new to it, so I'm just delving in and really enjoying your content. Keep it up. I watch your stuff all the time. So thanks so much, man.
That's awesome, man. Keep it up. I love what you're doing. This is great.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. All right, peace.